author opinion of Dennis Keane at the history, geography and architecture, culture and life manners of Kazakhs in the program Discovering Kazakhstan.
On today's program, cooking Kazakh food for Nauryz, setting a world record with a carpet, sheep lifting and sumo wrestling. Salam, привет, and hello. I'm Dennis Keane, and today on Discovering Kazakhstan, we are in Kazakhstan's biggest city, Almaty, to celebrate Kazakhstan's biggest holiday, the New Year celebration of Nauryz. Celebrated every year on March 21st, the vernal equinox, Nauryz, has its roots in ancient Persia. For Kazakhs, it is a holiday to mark the beginning of spring. And the national holiday means that millions of people around the country head to their local parks and squares to enjoy the warm weather, play games, eat traditional food, and celebrate the miracle of life. This year, the local holiday planners have gone all out, and they have a hot air balloon in this little square that's taken us above this beautiful new neighborhood that's called Athletes Village. It's called Athletes Village because all these buildings here were built for the student winter games that took place last year. And for me, it's a very special place to celebrate Nauryz because Nauryz is a holiday of hope. It's a holiday of optimism towards the future. Winter is past us, spring is here, and same thing with this neighborhood and with Almaty. We can see that this is a city that's growing and a country that is full of optimism. So how are we staying afloat in this balloon is, of course, we're shooting hot air up into this fabric. The guy said I can do it myself, so let's give it a go. Watch this. Makes you feel very powerful. Nauryz is always a time for Kazakhs to come together. Kazakh families often lived in isolation up in mountain pastures, and this was a time where the troubles of winter had passed and people could finally come together and be with their family members and their clanmates. So on this special holiday, Kazakhs would gather and play traditional games. So in this section of the pavilion, they have a variety of Kazakh sports. Here we're watching Kazakh Kuresh, a traditional kind of Kazakh wrestling. All right, let's go, buddy! These guys are little, but they're surprisingly tough. Sumo wrestling may not be as local as Kazakh Kuresh, but with these inflatable suits, it's just a good excuse to get goofy and let off some steam. So now even the little Kazakh girls are getting in on the action. I'm rooting for Uday over here. Let's go, Uday! Come on, Uday! Get her! Get her! Yeah! Good job. Yeah, that's my girl, that's my girl. So my girl Uday has inspired me to suit up myself. I'm going against my buddy Baka here. We will see who will win in the sumo competition. I know he's younger than me, but I'm going for it. He's gonna get it! Oh! Oh! What can I say? With my own real-life sumo belly, I had a bit of a size advantage on the guy. But though I may have been the champion in the sumo ring, the sport of sheep lifting was one manly sport I was too scared to even try. Every young Kazakh boy has always aspired to grow up to be a real jigit, a young, strong horseman. But before the days of gyms and barbells, how would they practice? By lifting up entire live sheep. It's called Koshkar Kuturu, and we're gonna see how many reps he can do with this live animal. He's already up to 13, let's go. Got the scorekeeper here, and the record so far to see is 80 repetitions. Now she just told me that that ram right there weighs 50 kilograms, so that is no easy feat. The record was 80. He's now up to 90. On his face, a look of determination and grit. So there it is. He made it to 100 and he said, "That's enough. I'm done." So let's go congratulate the winner. Congratulations. Mukta Jigit. Looking out over the crowd here at the Athletes Village, we can see that hundreds of people have gathered with their friends and family to celebrate Nauryz. It made me think that I can invite my friend family to come along on social media, so I'm gonna start a live feed and see who can join us. Hey everybody, we are live here at the Athletes Village in the Alatau district of Almaty, celebrating Nauryz. Look at that crowd out there. I want to wish everybody a Nauryz Kutlu Bolsun, happy Nauryz. Come join me at the celebration today as we are shooting Discovering Kazakhstan. Later we are going to be in the old square of Almaty. I hope that some of you can join us. Please write if you're going to come along, and we'll see you there. Downstairs, on the first floor of the Athlete Village, there was a special zone for Kazakh arts. Students from a local art school showed off their talents at the easel, while artisans showed off their traditional embroidery, a technique called bizkiste. The colored threads would have traditionally been dyed using natural ingredients and used to draw bright patterns on tapestries, illustrating everything from flowers to animal horns to beautiful abstractions. It's a jarring contrast to step outside the Athletes Village and to see these traditional yurts set up beside a glistening glass modern arena. But this tells us something about modern-day Kazakhstan, which is that it's a country that's constantly looking forward, trying to build new structures for its people. All around here you have brand new apartments, brand new homes and theaters. This is a brand new neighborhood in Almaty. So society is growing, but at the same time, they're trying to stay attached to their traditions. After all, Nauryz is a holiday that has been celebrated for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and it's not something that's going away anytime soon. It always brings joy into my heart to see an Alta Bakan, a traditional Kazakh swing. but usually this is used for romantic courtships. One man will stand on one side, woman stand on another. They will swing and gaze into each other's eyes. But I've never seen an ultimate used like this. There's more than a dozen kids on here having the times of their life, celebrating the new year.
Let's go!
One year in particular has been drawing quite the crowd. At first I thought that some kind of celebrity or rock star might have showed up here. Everybody is just pushing up, waving, screaming. What it turns out is that this is the Shashu station. Shashu is a really fun Kazakh tradition where people will take food like little candies and throw them in the air. Whoever catches it gets a sweet, but also gets some good luck. So let's see what we can catch. Over here! You've got to be careful because you are liable to get smacked in the face by some small piece of candy. Incoming projectiles here, but everybody has a smile on their face, everybody's laughing, and it's a really fun event. Можно играть? One thing that you feel whenever you come to these holiday celebrations in Kazakhstan is this youthful energy. There are families all around, lots of young people. So I wasn't surprised to meet Maria and Akarake, who are two young volunteers here. So first I want to wish you guys a happy Nauryz.
Thank you, you too.
And you are here today to help cook, is that right?
Yes.
So what are we cooking?
We cooked barsak and Nauryz. It's our traditional food in Kazakhstan. So we prepare Nauryz have 7 ingredients.
Okay, so maybe a little bit later we're actually going to get to try to make some Nauryz.
Yes.
And then barsak, can you tell us about that?
Barsak prepare in flour and water. It was very interesting for us because all people was hungry and stood here and
right.
Wait an hour and.
So the barsaks are already gone,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because barsaks are basically, it's fried dough. It's like an American donut, I would say.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're really, really tasty, so I'm not surprised that they're gone. What's really encouraging to me is that young people like you are learning how to make these traditional foods so that when you grow up, you can make them for your kids and for your grandkids. And this traditional Kazakh food is going to be passed down from Nauryz to Nauryz for generations. Of course, one of the most important parts of any celebration is the food. And Nauryz has some special recipes, a specific kind of soup that we're going to be making today called Nauryz kuzhe. Kuzhe is this kind of genre of Kazakh soups that are made from all sorts of different kinds of ingredients. But Nauryz kuzhe has 7 important ingredients that we have here on our table, and our master chef Marina is going to help make us. Hello, Marina.
Hello.
Nauryz kuzhe, it turns out, uses just about every random grain you can think of. Corn, barley, wheat, millet, plus noodles and rice for good measure. All of these are combined with salt and water and eventually yogurt to make a milky carbohydrate stew, famously full of vitamins and calories, all the better to regain your strength for the hard work that lay ahead for nomads in the warmer months. So here we're putting in some kind of fresh yogurt in there. One thing that Marina told me before we started our cooking class here was very interesting. She's wearing some silver rings on her hand. Can you show us your silver rings? And she was saying that Kazakhs always like to cook while wearing silver. Before they used to have some kind of plastic gloves or hygienic devices, silver was thought to be an element that had cleansing powers. So in order to stay healthy and clean, they would always wear silver on their hands during the cooking process. And I thought that was really neat.
Улустың ұлы күні Nauryz құтты болсын.
Wow.
Ақ мол болсын.
Rahmet. She's wishing us a happy Nauryz and already pouring the courgette. So you can see how quickly you can put that together. Usually they'll make it in a big vat for dozens of people, but here she's made a special bowl.
Nauryz көжені жылдан жылға жете берейік деп, аман есен болайық деп, Nauryz көжені ұсынып, тойып ішкенді дұрыс деп санаймыз.
Rahmet. She's given us a very nice blessing and wish here before I can try our Nauryz courgette.
Ас болсын.
Rahmet. Damn.
Өте рахмет.
Rahmet sizge.
Sizге де рахмет.
It's actually quite good. What I expected is that the balance is, it's actually quite good. What's nice is that the flavors all really balance each other out. So, of course, we have that salty solution that we started with. Then we have some sweet corn. And there's a bunch of different textures in there. So you have some soft noodles, some crunchy grains. Everything kind of mixes together in an unusually tasty soup. Nowadays, people arrive to these kind of festivities by car, on the bus, even by the subway in Almaty. But back in the day, of course, they would have ridden their traditional Kazakh horses to some kind of Nauryz celebration. They would have gone from village to village to shake hands with the elders and say, Nauryz kutlu bolsun, Happy Nauryz. The new district of Almaty was clearly full of youthful energy. But the other center of gravity during Almaty's New Year celebrations was surely the city's old square and its surrounding neighborhood. On urban lanes like Panfilov Street and Otterplatte, thousands of Almatians hit the pavement for a holiday stroll. Not long ago, this street in the center of Almaty was clogged with traffic. Honking cars and screeching tires, but now, after a significant redevelopment program, it is now home to traffic of a different kind, foot traffic. Panfilov Street has become a wonderland for pedestrians, and it is the perfect place to celebrate Nauryz. No matter which way you looked on Panfilov Street, it was a hive of action. In one place, kids were taking part in arts and crafts workshops, while down the road, street musicians were delighting the public. The whole walkway is decorated with symbols of traditional wooden cards, Scythian icons, and yurt frames wrought from metal. If within the athletes' village on the edge of town, we felt such a strong connection to the countryside and its traditions. Here in the center of town, there is more cosmopolitan feel. Just like in the greatest cities of Europe, we have life statues. Oh, what is he trying to tell us? He uses no words, but he must use his body.
Just as spellbinding as the street mime was the Kazakh street puppet master, a musician who was manipulating a toy mountain goat called an urtike. As he played his dombra, the Kazakh folk instrument, a nearly invisible string was tied to his fingers, with the other end connected to the puppet. The mountain goat's movements were certainly primitive, but their clumsiness is part of the humor of the performance, and it was fun to see it dance in time to the strum of the Kazakh folk tunes.
If there's one thing that I wish Almaty could be known for, it's for its street markets and its craft fairs. Almost every single weekend, there are booths like this that are on the streets. People can come and buy locally made crafts, but on a holiday like Nauryz, the entire city is out in full force. And you can see really neat crafts like these that are made from traditional materials. This is a giant khobuz. This is kind of like a classic Kazakh instrument that has been fashioned out of horns from some beast. It has this ancient kind of appearance, and it would really lend a traditional atmosphere to any space, I think. But walking along here, you can see so many of these different items, each one crafted with such care and attention to tradition. I was so happy walking down the streets of this Nauryz celebration in Almaty because it's such a small city. You can run into so many old friends, and I saw my buddy Joly here. Joly and I used to live together, celebrate a lot of holidays together, but I'm not sure that we ever spent many Nauryzes together. So it's always great to be together with people you care about. But here we're in such a public setting. There's thousands of people out here on the streets. And I'm curious, when you're just at home with your family, with just your average Kazakh family, what's Nauryz like?
Well, Nauryz is like something outside, inside the family, people usually send each other texts or say something.
I like what you said, that you send each other texts, because that's definitely become like a recent Nauryz phenomenon, is that everybody is on the messaging platforms, sending each other memes, sending each other photos, well wishes, but it's all about kind of expressing your hope in a way for like a new year. There's a lot of very good intentions.
Well, I think, Kazakhstan differs from region to region. I heard, people at the Western Kazakhstan really celebrate this, New Year.
Okay.
But, the, places with Soviet heritage, we rarely celebrate this as an actual family gathering celebration.
Right. Yeah. But I can still feel that, I've lived here in Almaty for 5 years, and every year there are more and more people out here. And every year, Nauryz becomes more of a holiday that feels like it really belongs to everybody. So in a way, it's something that they're reclaiming after such a long time of it being like a pretty neutralized holiday.
Well, I think for a lot of people, it's also some kind of a manifest of like being Kazakh, right? Because if you're Kazakh, why not to celebrate Nauryz kind of thing? And I wonder how, because different Kazakh people, Kazakhs in different ways, and not necessarily by celebrating this. But to your point, a lot of people just try to, gather with other people just to reclaim for themselves that they have some kind of belonging to Kazakhstan.
Well, I feel some belonging. I mean, when I'm amongst all these people,
you're more Kazakh than I. You're married to a Kazakh woman.
So here in this space, like surrounded by all these people who I should feel are so different than me, on a holiday like today, we feel united. We feel like we're all Kazakhs. Better Kazakh was.
Yeah, I would say so.
now that so many of the streets in Almaty have been pedestrianized, it's like the whole city center has become this winding path to stroll with your friends and families. And we've come down to the street that locals like to call Arbat. This is a place where the youth have gathered for years to play music, so it's no surprise to find a rock concert here as some kind of entertainment. So this just goes to show that though the holiday Nauryz is still rooted in those ancient traditions, it's become this kind of all-purpose excuse for just entertainment and having fun. Here on the site of Arbat, we can find history in the making, because here, these dozens of ladies are working together to put together the world's longest kurpe. Now, what is a kurpe, you may ask? Kurpe is a kind of Kazakh mattress made out of this kind of soft, velvety material these days that you can find in almost any Kazakh home. They'll be stacked over in the corner, and as soon as a guest comes over, the kurpes come out. They're laid out on the floor so that the guests can lay down and relax and enjoy themselves. But what's special about this kurpe is its length. You can see just how long this is. It's made up of hundreds of different pieces that have been contributed so that they can be put together like a quilt. And with all of this volunteer energy here, they're going to be sewing all these pieces together into one monumental mattress. Now, there's a bigger meaning behind this though, because every single piece symbolizes one citizen of Kazakhstan, or one nation. This is a country of 18 million people, but more than 100 different nationalities. People come from so many different backgrounds, but here they're all woven together into one national fabric. So now, triangle by little triangle, we are bringing this kurpe together, and I'm going to do my part by taking some thread. She's showing me how we can just weave it very simply like this. And I will, and I'll make my contribution to this kurpe. I've done my sewing a little bit. I'm not very handy with my hands as it turns out. So I've tried to do the best that I can. I've left the effort up to our volunteers here. Not very dexterous when it comes to sewing. So there it is. When you see this kurpe in the record books, you can look for this little red triangle right here and say that that came from Dennis Keen, the host of Discovering Kazakhstan. Thank you, guys. They say that Almaty is a city of almost 2 million people. And I wouldn't be surprised if every single one of them were out today enjoying this warm spring weather and taking pride in this rich Kazakh culture. And what a culture it is that has been on display today at Nauryz. We've seen traditional games and sports, tried some traditional food, heard traditional music, so many rich traditions that you don't get to see every day in Kazakhstan, but on a special holiday like this today, it is on display. So if there is anywhere that you want to be on Nauryz in the world, I think it's here in Kazakhstan. I'm Dennis Keen. Thank you for joining us today on Discovering Kazakhstan. Until next time, Sağ ol, Baka, and goodbye.